Do you want to score high in economics and crush your WAEC GCE? Today we are breaking down real 2020 WAEC GCE Economics questions with correct answers and explanation, so you never forget them. So this is part 1 of our 2020 WAEC GCE Economics walkthrough. We handle questions 1 to 24 in this video, and part 2 will cover question 25 to 50. So in this video, you will see each question on the screen with answer highlighted and a short explanation. We move slide by slide so you can pause, think, and test yourself before the answer is revealed. So if you want more WAEC and GCE past questions walkthrough, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you never miss any of our study sections. So alright, let's jump into question 1 and get started. Question 1. Adam Smith defined economics as an inquiry into the nature and causes of wealth of nations. To him, economics is concerned with dash: A. Resource allocation, B. Wealth making, C. Nature of businesses, and D. Science of economics. The correct answer is B. Wealth making. Because Adam Smith saw economics as the study of the wealth of nations and how it's created and distributed. Now question 2. A rightward shift in the production possibility frontier may be due to dash: A. Inefficiency in production techniques, B. Improvement in production technique and practices, inadequate resources, use of inferior input. The correct answer is B. Improvement in production technique and practices. Better technology and efficiency increase potential output, shifting the production possibility frontier outward. Remember, another name for production possibility frontier is production possibility curve, popularly referred to as PPC. Now let's go to the next question. Road and electricity provided by the government are best described as dash. Look at the question A, B, C, and D. And the correct answer to the question is C, social capital. Social capital refers to infrastructure and services that support economic activity and benefit the public. Alright, let's see question 4. The following economic systems are the same except dash: A. Control economy, capitalist economy, socialist economy, and planned economy. The correct answer to the question is B. Capitalist economy. Controlled, socialist, and planned economies involve state control, whereas capitalist economy is a market-driven economy. Next question. Which of the following will best illustrate relative sectoral contributions to the gross domestic product of a country? A. Pie chart, B. Pictogram, C. Line graph, D. Tables. The correct answer is pie chart. Pie chart shows proportion clearly, ideal for illustrating sectoral GDP contributions. Next question, that's question number 6. Which of the following situations may occur if the demand for bread falls? A. Demand for its substitutes may fall. B. Demand for bakers' services may fall. C. Price of flour may rise. D. Price of bread may increase. The correct answer is B. Demand from bakers' services may fall, because less bread demand reduces the need for baker services, lowering of employment or hours in bakeries. All right, question 7. The demand curve for a commodity with zero price elasticity is dash. A. Perfectly elastic. B. Fairly inelastic. C. Perfectly inelastic. And D. Fairly elastic. The correct answer to the question is C. Perfectly inelastic. Zero price elasticity means quantity demanded does not change regardless of the change in price, and that makes it a perfectly inelastic, meaning that irrespective of the change in price of the commodity, the demand remains the same. Question number 8. If demand is inelastic and price is raised, total revenue will dash. If demand is inelastic and price is raised, total revenue will dash. A. Rise. B. Decrease. C. Remain unchanged. And D. Fall to zero. The correct answer to the question is rise. That is, with inelastic demand, quantity demanded falls proportionately less than the price rise, so revenue increases. That is, if the demand is inelastic and the price increases, definitely the revenue of a business will increase. Question number 9. If at the same price more of a commodity is bought, it indicates an increase in dash. A. Quantity demanded. B. Demand. C. Demand of a substitute. And D. Demand for a complement. The correct answer is B. An increase in demand means buyers want more at the same price. Quantity demanded changes only when price changes. All right, next question. Question number 10. I hope you are following. Okay, the law of supply implies that the supply curve dash. The law of supply implies that supply curve dash A has a positive slope, B has a negative slope, C is vertical, and D is horizontal. The correct question is A. Law of demand implies that the supply curve has a positive slope, meaning that the higher prices incentivize producers to supply more, giving an upward positive slope to the supply curve. Next question, 11. In perfectly elastic supply, the supply curve is dash, or supply curve dash. A is vertical, B is horizontal, C slopes upward, and D slopes downward. The correct answer to the question is A. The supply curve is vertical, meaning that perfectly inelastic supply means quantity supplied is fixed regardless of price, shown by a vertical curve. Next question. The valuation of currency will be effective if the elasticity of supply of export is dash. A. Unitary, B. Elastic, C. Fairly inelastic, and D. Perfectly inelastic. The correct answer to the question is B. Is elastic. That is, if export supply is responsible, lower foreign currency price if export supply is responsive, lower foreign currency prices after devaluation can boost export volumes, meaning that the value of the country's currency will reduce as regards to other foreign currencies, and that will encourage foreigners to come and buy goods from a particular country, which will boost their exports. Question 13. The market supply for a commodity is the dash. A. Quantity of a commodity supplied by a firm. B. Aggregate of supply schedules of individual firms. C. Total output of a manufacturer brought into this market. And D. Quantity of a commodity produced at a given time. The correct answer is B. Aggregate of supply schedule of individual firms, because market supply sums the amount each firm is willing to supply at each price. The aggregate supply schedule, that's the correct answer. Next question, question number 14. We are moving very fast. That's good. A demand curve slows downward because of dash. A. The laws of demand and supply. B. The law of variable proportions. C. Diminishing marginal utility. And D. Increasing returns to scale. The correct answer to the question is C. Diminishing marginal utility. Meaning, as consumer consumes more of a particular commodity, extra satisfaction, which is marginal utility, falls, so they buy more only at lower prices. The next question, that's question 15. Minimum price is usually fixed dash. A. Above the equilibrium price. B. Below the equilibrium price. C. At the equilibrium price. And D. By middlemen. The correct answer to the question is A. Above the equilibrium price. A price floor, which is also known as minimum price, must be set above equilibrium price, must be set above equilibrium to bind. Otherwise, it has no effect. If the minimum price is set below the equilibrium price, then it will have no effect in the market. Question 16. An increase in the demand for cocoa in the short run may lead to dash. A. An increase in price and quantity. B. An increase in price as supply decreases. C. An increase in price as supply remains unchanged. And D. An increase in price and supply. Let's see the correct answer. The correct answer to the question is C. An increase in price as supply remains unchanged, meaning that in the short run, supply is often fixed, meaning that it is inelastic. So the higher demand tends to raise price more than quantity. Question 17. A firm experiences internal diseconomies of scale when dash. A. Average cost of production declines. B. It faces higher production costs. C. It adopts technological innovation. And D. Production cost declines with higher output. The correct answer to question number 17 is B. It faces higher production costs. That is, internal diseconomies occur when a firm becomes too large or poorly managed, raising average cost. Question number 18. In order to prevent the operation of the law of diminishing returns in agriculture, labor-intensive method, that's option A, labor-intensive method should be adopted. Option B, land tenure should be encouraged. Option C, the use of fertilizer should be encouraged. Option D, urban-rural migration should be encouraged. What's the correct answer? Let's see. The correct answer to question 18 is C. The use of fertilizer should be encouraged, meaning that improved inputs like fertilizer raise productivity per unit of land and can delay diminishing returns. Question 19. Which of the following statement is false in theory of cost? Let's see. Option A, AFC curve falls as output rises. B, AFC curve rises as output rises. Option C, AVC curve falls first then rises. Option D, ATC curve falls first then rises. The correct answer to the question is option B. AFC, that's average fixed cost, curve rise as output rises. Meaning that in AFC, average fixed cost always falls as output rises. So the statement B is false. Question number 20. A firm may enjoy technical innovation when it dash A. Uses more of producers' goods. B. Improve the welfare of workers. C. Set up research and development department. And D. Improves its transportation and communication facilities. The correct answer to the question is C. A firm may enjoy technical innovation when it sets up research and development department. And setting up R&D directly leads to the development and adoption of new technologies. Question 21. A monopolist can practice price discrimination only if dash. Let's look at the option together. A. The market can be segmented. B. Communication is perfect. C. Elasticity of demand are uniform in the market. And D. Goods and services are heterogeneous. The correct answer is A. The market can be segmented, meaning that price discrimination requires separating buyers into groups with different willingness to pay at different prices. So the correct answer to the question is B. Is A. Question 2.2 rather. Consumers cooperative societies are formed to dash. A. Encourage thrift among themselves. B. Supply farm inputs to members at controlled prices. C. Ensure effective distribution of consumers' goods. And D. Make sure consumers pay minimum prices fixed by the government. The correct answer is C. Consumer cooperative societies are formed to ensure effective distribution of consumers' goods. Meaning that consumer cooperative primarily objective or aim is to ensure fair, effective distribution of consumer goods to their members. Now let's look at the next one. That's question 23. One disadvantage of cooperative societies as business organization is that A. True spirit of cooperation is marred by delegated authority. Members show too much interest. C. It is poorly financed. D. Members share essential commodities. Let's look at the correct answer. The correct answer to the question is C. It is poorly financed. Cooperatives often face limited capital because members may have low savings or weak credit access. Next, the last question for this very edition is question 24. Distribution can be described as the movement of dash. A. Raw materials to the center of production. B. Labor from the farm to the market entries. C. Goods from the rural areas to the urban centers. And D. Commodities from production point to the consumers. Correct answer to the question is option D. Distribution can be described as the movement of commodities from production point to the consumers. Distribution involves moving finished commodities from producers to the final consumer. And remember that production does not take place until the goods produced get to the hands of the final consumer. So that is for part 1. We have just walked through the first 24 questions from the 2020 WAEC GCE Economics papers. Make sure you review these answers and explanations. Understanding why each answer is correct will help you handle similar questions in future papers. So, if you enjoyed this breakdown, give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend who is preparing for WAEC or GCE. In our next video, that will be our part 2, we will cover question 25 to 50 from this same paper. So, you have the complete set. Until then, keep studying and keep believing in yourself.